ability to lend to its member countries. We also full-heartedly welcome and congratulate Lebanon on becoming the 87th member of the AIIB family. The theme of the third annual meeting of the bank is mobilizing finance for infrastructure, innovation, and collaboration. It is closely linked to Kazakhstan's foreign economic policy, which is aimed at multi-vector cooperation, openness, and adherence to the rules-based system of international trade. We believe in the context of current global processes, the future of our region is determined by our cooperation. On our side, we have set the goal of entering the top 30 most developed countries in the world, and to that end, we implement a number of structural institutional reforms to achieve that goal. In order to closely integrate our country with Central Asia, China, countries of the Eurasian Economic Union, and Europe, we're implementing significant regional infrastructure projects. Kazakhstan plans to become a regional business and investment and transportation hub, and we're diligently working towards that goal. The construction of the 3,000-kilometer long Kazakhstan section of the international corridor Western Europe, Western China has been completed. It is a key element that connects physically the Belt and Road Initiative with the countries of the Eurasian Economic Union, with Central and Eastern Europe. And we have seen the freight turnover between the region has increased by 2.5 times and the transit traffic by 3 times. 3 pilot container trains have been launched. We call them Nomad Express on the Trans-Caspian International Transport Route. It connects China, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Turkey, as well as China and Iran through Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan. New logistics hubs have been built in the eastern and western regions of our country, as well as the joint Kazakh-Chinese logistics terminal at the seaport of Lianyungan. The capacity of our ports on the Caspian Sea has been increased to the total of 26 million tons per year. Special Economic Zone Kyrgyz Eastern Gates is fully operational and is functioning for unimpeded trade and boosting our transit cargo flows. Work is underway to create international aviation hub near Almaty. By 2020, we will have direct air connections with all 10 leading global financial centers from New York to Shanghai and Tokyo. Financial infrastructure is of key importance to Kazakhstan and our region in general. To that end, the Astana International Financial Hub was established, and it will become, we hope, the hub for the whole Central Asian region. It offers state-of-the-art technological and regulatory infrastructure, and it is governed by the English law. On July 4th and 5th, we will have a grand opening of the Astana International Financial Center, and I would like to welcome and invite all of you to Kazakhstan. We clearly understand that physical infrastructure is of vital importance, but it is not enough by itself. In light of our adherence to free trade, free investment, free transit, we have recently signed a free trade agreement, temporary free trade agreement with Iran, and we have signed a trade and economic agreement with the People's Republic of China. As a member of the Eurasian Economic Union, along with all our member countries, we're negotiating free trade agreements with India, Israel, Singapore, to name a few. We believe that AIIB is a bank of multilateral cooperation and development. It has wide mandate, great flexibility, understanding of our region, excellent staff, and very dynamic, ambitious management. We're confident that the bank will make significant contribution to the development of our region, to interconnecting our region, and making lives better for each and every one of us. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much indeed, Governor. We'll now hear short remarks from the Governor for Norway, Vice Chair of the Board of Governors, representing our non-regional members. Please welcome Mr. Nikolai Astrup, Minister of International Development.
Prime Minister, President Jin, ministers, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. I am very grateful to have the opportunity to speak to you at this opening ceremony of the third annual meeting of the AIIB as you are elected Vice Chair of the Board of Governors. Even though this is the opening ceremony, it is already clear to us all that our host country, India, has done a tremendous job. I would like to convey a warm thank you from all of us for making this meeting a success and for making us feel so welcome. Norway is proud to be among the founding members of the AIIB and to have been part of 2 exciting and successful first years of operation. We have seen a rapidly increasing membership and a steadily expanding project portfolio. A number of policies and strategies have been adopted, and we have seen successful co-financing projects with other multilateral development banks. The AIIB has learned from, but not copied, partner banks, which in certain respects makes the AIIB a different kind of bank. In my view, the multilateral finance architecture needed a slightly different institution, and I think we are well on the way to creating a bank that provides quick, cost-effective, tailored solutions for borrowing countries. This is thanks to the hard work of President Jin and each and every staff member at the AIIB. I welcome the choice of topic for this meeting: mobilizing finance for infrastructure, innovation, and collaboration. The international community has now developed a vast multilateral finance architecture with the AIIB, the other MDBs, the Green Climate Fund, and a host of other multilateral financing mechanisms. However, I wonder if our appetite for new innovative mechanisms sometimes gets in the way of addressing the real challenge for many, which is accessibility, and the need to have an overview of all the different financing options and instruments available to us, and understanding how to use them. Is there perhaps a need for some kind of one-stop shop created by these institutions in collaboration to help guide us all? The AIIB has been created to help fill the huge infrastructure financing gaps in the clear knowledge that this will not be possible without massive amounts of finance from both private and public sources. In this endeavor, we need to improve our ability to mobilize institutional investors. I know firsthand that this is easier said than done, but it is essential if we are to mobilize the necessary funds for worldwide development. I truly hope that the AIIB will be able to put together investment packages that are attractive to this class of investors. I cannot talk about infrastructure without mentioning the oceans, the true highways of the global markets. More than 90% of world trade is carried by sea. The oceans are a perfect illustration of our interconnectedness and our interdependence. But there is also another, less positive side to the story. Every year, a staggering 8 million tons of plastic ends up in the oceans. And 80% of marine litter comes from land-based sources. This needs to stop. The people of India, just like the people of Norway and countries all over the world, are rallying to do their bit to reverse the trend of plastic waste suffocating the seas. But we have to do more, much more, to ensure clean and productive oceans for the future. I hope that the AIIB will become an important partner and investor in this endeavor. We will have to invest a lot of money in waste management in the coming years if the oceans are still to sustain marine life in 2050. The only good thing about this bad situation is that waste management is both a very profitable line of business and an area with great opportunities for job creation. President Yin, it is tempting to add waste management as part of the substance to the clean part of lean, clean, and green, but I can accept that green will cover it for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Governor. India is the second largest shareholder in the bank and is the largest user of bank financing. As a founding member, India played a leading role in shaping our institution, and this commitment owes a great deal to the leadership of our final speaker. So now, the moment you've been waiting for. Prime Minister, we look forward very much to hearing what you have to say.
President of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, other dignitaries on the dais, distinguished delegates from India and abroad, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to be here in Mumbai for the third annual meeting of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. We are happy to have this opportunity to deepen our engagement with the bank and its members. AIIB started its financing operations in January 2016. In less than 3 years, it has in its own fold 87 members and a committed capital stock of $100 billion. It is surely going to play a critical role in Asia. Friends, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank is a result of collaborative efforts of Asian countries to provide a better tomorrow to our people. As developing countries, we share similar challenges. One of them is to find resources for provision of infrastructure. I'm happy that the theme of this year's meeting is mobilizing finance for infrastructure, innovation, and collaboration. Investments by AIIB in sustainable infrastructure can impact the lives of billions of people. Asia still faces wide-ranging disparities in access to education, healthcare, financial services, and formal employment opportunities. Regional multilateralism through institutions such as AIIB can play a central role in helping to raise resources. Sectors such as energy and power, transportation, telecom, rural infrastructure, agricultural development, water supply and sanitation, environment protection, urban development, and logistics require long-term funds. The interest rate on these funds need to be affordable and sustainable. In short period, AIIB has approved 25 projects in a dozen countries with a total financing of over $4 billion. This is a good beginning. With committed capital of $100 billion and huge need for infrastructure in member countries, I take this opportunity to call upon AIIB to expand from financing $4 billion to $40 billion by 2020 and $100 billion by 2025. This will require simpler processing and faster approval. It would also need high-quality projects and robust project proposals. I believe that India and AIIB are both strongly committed to making economic growth more inclusive and sustainable. In India, we are applying novel public-private partnership models, infrastructure debt funds, and infrastructure investment trusts to fund infrastructure. India is trying to develop brownfield assets as a separate asset class for infrastructure investment. Such assets, having passed the stages of land acquisition and environment and forest clearances, are relatively de-risked. Hence, for such assets, institutional investment from pension, insurance, and sovereign wealth funds are likely to be more forthcoming. Another initiative is the National Investment and Infrastructure Fund. This aims to channel investment from both domestic and international sources into infrastructure. This fund has received a boost with AIIB committing $200 million for investment. Ladies and gentlemen, India is one of the most investor-friendly economies in the world. Investors look for growth and macroeconomic stability. They want political stability and a supportive regulatory framework to ensure protection of their investment. From the point of larger scale of operations and higher value addition, an investor is also attacked by a large domestic market size available for skilled labor and good physical infrastructure. On each of these parameters, India is well placed and has performed very well. Let me share you with some of our experiences and achievements. India has emerged as a bright spot in the global economy, which is driving global growth as well. With a size of $2.8 trillion, it is the 7th largest in the world. It is the 3rd largest in terms of purchasing power parity. In the 4th quarter of 2017, we grew at 7.7%. In 2018, we are projected to grow at a 7.4%. Our macroeconomic fundamentals are strong with stable prices as robust external sector and a fiscal situation firmly in control. Despite rising oil prices, inflation is within the mandated range. The government is firmly committed to the path of fiscal consolidation. Government debt as percentage of GDP is consistently declining. India has achieved a rating upgrade after a long wait. The external sector remains robust. Our foreign exchange reserves are more than $400 billion, provide us enough cushion. Global confidence in India's economy is rising. Total FDI flows have increased steadily. More than $222 billion have been received in the last 4 years. As per UNCTAD's World Investment Report, India continues to be one of the top FDI destinations in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, from the point of a foreign investor, India counts as an extremely low-risk political economy. the government has taken a number of steps to boost investment. We have simplified rules and regulations for businesses and undertaken bold reforms. We have provided investors an environment which is efficient, transparent, reliable, and predictable. We have liberalized the FDI regime. Today, most sectors are on automatic approval route. The goods and services tax is one of the most significant systematic reforms that our country has undergone. It works on the one nation, one tax principle. It reduces tax cascading, increased transparency, and aids to logistics efficiency. All of this makes it easier for the investor to do business in India. These and other changes have been noticed by the global fraternity. India has jumped 42 places in 3 years to enter the top 100 in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business report 2018. The size and growth of the Indian market hold much potential. India's per capita income has doubled in the last 10 years. We have over 300 million middle-class consumers. This number is expected to double in the next 10 years. The size and scale of requirement in India gives the added advantage of economies of scale for investors. For example, the housing program in India targets 10 million houses in urban areas. This would be more than the total requirement of a lot of countries taken together. Therefore, the use of new technology in house construction would have added advantage if tried in India. Another example of scale would be the renewable energy program in India. We have set a target to construct capacity of 175 gigawatts of renewable energy by the year 2022. Of this, the solar energy capacity will amount to 100 gigawatts, and we are well on course to exceed these targets. We have added more capacity to renewable energy than conventional energy in 2017. We are also making collaborative efforts to mainstream solar energy in the form of an international solar alliance. The founding conference of the alliance was held in New Delhi earlier this year. The alliance aims at a solar capacity of 1,000 gigawatts with an investment of $1 trillion by 2030. India is working on e-mobility. The challenge before us is of technology, particularly with respect to storage. We will be hosting a global mobility conference this year. I hope that this will help us in moving forward. Friends, in India, we are upgrading connectivity at all levels. The Bharatmala scheme is aimed at improving road connectivity by constructing national corridors and highways. The Sagarmala project has been undertaken for boosting port connectivity, port modernization, and port link industries. Dedicated freight corridors are being developed to mitigate the congestion of our railway network. The Jalmarg Vikas project would augment capacity of navigation on national waterways for internal trade carried through inland water transport. Our Udan scheme works towards regional airport development and improved air connectivity. An area which I believe needs even more attention is the possibility of utilizing India's large coastline for transportation and freight movement. While we talk about the conventional concept of infrastructure, I must mention some of the modern day infrastructure on which India has worked. BharatNet is targeted at providing last mile internet connectivity in the country. India has over 460 million internet users and 1.2 billion mobile phones in use. We are promoting the use of digital payments. Our United Payments Interface System, or UPI, along with BHIM app and RuPay card, has shown the true potential of digital economy in India. Through the Umang app, more than 100 public services have been made available to the citizens through their mobile phone. Our Digital India mission aims to bridge the rural-urban digital divide. Agriculture is the lifeline of the Indian economy. We are promoting investments in warehouses and cold chains, food processing, crop insurance, and allied activities. We are promoting micro irrigation to ensure optimal use of water with increased productivity. I would like AIIB to look into potential investment opportunities in this field and associate with us. We aim to provide every poor and homeless household a house with toilet, water, and electricity by the year 2022. We are also looking at various strategies for effective waste management. We have also recently launched Ayushman Bharat, our national health protection mission. This will provide a benefit cover of over $7,000 annually to more than 100 million poor and vulnerable families. The resulting expansion of healthcare facilities will lead to the creation of a large number of jobs. This will also promote the production of high-quality medicines, consumables, and other medical technology equipments. Jobs will also be created for ancillary activities, including call centers, research and evaluation, and IEC activities. The entire healthcare industry will receive a boost. Moreover, with the government assuming healthcare benefits, the saving of a family can now be better used for other consumption and investment. This increased disposable income in the hands of a poor family would lead to increased demand in the economy. I see great potential in this for investors. Friends, the Indian story of economic resurgence closely mirrors that of many other parts of Asia. Now, the continent finds itself at the center of the global economic activity. It has become the main growth engine of the world. In fact, we are now living through what many have termed the Asian century. A new India is rising. It is an India that stands on the pillars of economic opportunity for all, knowledge economy, holistic development, and futuristic, resilient, and digital infrastructure. We look forward to our continued engagement with our development partners, including AIIB. In conclusion, I hope that the interactions in this forum will be fruitful and enriching for all. Thank you very much.